Shalom, brothers and sisters. Welcome to another edition of Maccabees TV News. It's your brother, Priest Daniela, Alliance of Israel, Maccabees Alliance Council. And I'd also like to greet everybody watching this on the main channel, Maccabees TV as well. If you're not familiar with the backup channel, Maccabees TV News, it will be in the description for this video. It'll also be in the comment section. Make sure you subscribe to Maccabees TV News as well as Maccabees TV. So today, brothers and sisters, the news article I want to bring to you is something I came across on Facebook today. Somebody actually posted this. And you know the old saying, they say what's old to you is new to me, and what's old to me might be new to you. So there's so much different things going on in the world, so many news articles that are out there that sometimes you can't keep up with everything. So that's one of the good benefits of social media. One of the few good benefits of social media is sometimes somebody's aware of something that you're not, they post it, and now you become aware of it that you weren't before. Today's news article, I want to show you, brothers and sisters, something that maybe many of you already knew about, but it's new to me. I find it interesting, and I want to give a brief commentary on it. So France has something called Bastille Day in France, right? And they usually throw a military parade during Bastille Day in France. And so France, during their Bastille Day, from time to time, will show new military prototypes that they're using, that their military is using, weapons, technology, etc. So let's take a look at something that was introduced during France's Bastille Day that their military possibly will be using in the future. And I'll do a brief commentary on it. Check this out, brothers and sisters.
During the opening ceremony of the French Bastille Day military parade on July 14, 2019 in Paris, the French defense industry has performed a live demonstration with flying soldiers using the Zapata flight board. According to the French...
So, France introduced during Bastille Day the French military using the Zapata flying board. The Zapata flying board, Z-A-P-A-T-A, Zapata with a Z, flying board. How many of you brothers and sisters were aware of this thing even existing? I'm going to show you something in a minute, but they have their soldiers using the Zapata flying board. Let's continue.
French Army Special Forces carry out trial tests with this new type of equipment.
So they allowed their special forces to carry out tests using this equipment.
The flyboard is a type of jetpack overboard powered by gas turbines. It was developed and designed by the French watercraft rider Frankie Zapata, founder of Zapata Racing. According to Zapata Racing, the flyboard could fly at an altitude of up to 3,000 meters and reach a maximum speed of 150 kilometers, with a maximum autonomy of 10 minutes.
So that board that you just saw right there can fly up to, I believe it's, if we want to do miles per hour, because they gave it to you in the European measurement, it can go 103 miles an hour. And you have the French military that's actually using this. Well, they were actually showing this off as Bastille Day as something that they possibly will be investing money into. So they'll be investing money into that flying board. Now, that kind of brought me back a little bit. Let me stop for a second. That kind of brought me back a little bit to Art Imitating Life, or backwards, Life Imitating Art. That reminds me of, and I'm not saying that this is the same thing, but it just reminded me of something I seen in comic books growing up. How many of you brothers and sisters are familiar with the Silver Surfer? Y'all familiar with the Silver Surfer? Let me show you, brothers and sisters, something. They put this in a movie years ago. Fantastic Four versus the Silver Surfer. Here's a clip from the movie that Marvel put out. I'm pretty sure this video is going to get a copyright, but that's okay. Check this out, family. It's Dr. Doom. And that's the Silver Surfer. So I had to ask myself, is this life imitating art or art imitating life? And I'm just reading too much into it. But either way, it looks pretty similar, right? You have a soldier with a gun, and he's flying around on that flying, hovering board. Is it life imitating art, or art imitating life, or just a crazy coincidence, right? Yeah, so that's the Zapata flying board, right? Now let's stop here for a second because this was new to me. And once I came across this, I started doing my research and realized, oh, they told us about this a year ago. Here's a video right here. They actually came to the United States and did a demonstration, and they showed this board off a year ago. Now, I'm not sure. You brothers and sisters can do your own research. Does Zapata actually offer this to the general public or not? Definitely, we could see that the French are buying this and they're going to be using this for their military. And I'm going to give a commentary on that in a second, but let's stick with what we're sticking with right here. A year ago, there was a video on it where they came to the United States and did a demonstration. Let's check this out. Check this out. Looks almost like a cartoon or a movie, but it's real.
At the peak of the party, McFly is Marty. Back to the future, too fast to be tardy. My lady flies Barbie, straight vixen. Never tripping on my addiction. Now we picking up steam, yeah. Got the lights on green, and we change gears for the scene. Cause SOH is the team, and I'm reaching top speed. Throwing hooks like I'm Creed. Never late to the party, better watch me cause I'm always on time. Yeah, I'm on time, don't miss a beat. If she run with me, she a 10 at least. Cream of the crop, top quality. Not your team or cop could try stopping me. Says I lays it down properly. You and your crew, get off my property. I own everything, I'm on everything.
Doesn't even look real.
On that top spot, no
it's real.
settling. Married to the game, no wedding ring. Flipping through this paper, call it magazine. More problems, that's really what all of this brings. Well, I'm ready for a champ, put me in the ring. Job done, I made the deadline. Hey, I'm always gonna shine just like the sun.
Now, play the whole video because I want to show you
Carrots, cake, meals, diamonds on deck. Respect the word.
I'll show you something. This is just my commentary. I'm going to show y'all something.
Turn it up and get wild till we're reaching top speed. Malachi in the lead. Never late to the party. Better watch me cause I'm always on time. Won't waste a minute. I'll leave you behind. Oh, better keep up with me, babe.
Now look at something else they got. Look at that. Look at that.
Oh, keep up with me. Keep up with me. Keep up with me.
Now this is what I want to show you, right, brothers and sisters, right here. Let's come back for a second. Stay with me now. Stay with me now. So we see the French military has brought these. They brought them. So what was once a prototype that we were looking at, it was a really cool video. Now the French military, let me unmute it.
Performed a live demonstration with flying soldiers using the Zapata flight board.
So the French performed a live demonstration using the Zapata flying board. So they actually brought those things from this dude and planned on possibly using them. So it went from something being fantasy to something being real, right? Military has access to this stuff. Brothers and sisters, a lot of police departments are becoming militarized. In the future, not only will the military have those, but the police departments. will have those. See, here's the deal. I was reading the comments on some of the videos, and somebody brought out an excellent point, which I agree with. If you have military soldiers using something like this, right? This right here, you become a sitting duck. You're a huge target in combat. So you might see the military buying these, but ultimately, as we've been witnessing over the last decade and a half, local police departments are becoming more militarized. In the future, if those things are not found to be good in combat situations for soldiers, they may not use them, but your local police department will. And then Tyrone on the corner trying to push weight, you ain't got to worry about a police car coming to roll up on you. One of these guys is going to come up, police officers are going to come rolling up on you on one of these things in vests and armors that they have that they ain't telling you about, right? That's the bullets that you have in your little gun that you buy from over-the-counter gun shops won't even be able to penetrate that armor. And believe me, if the French have this, the Chinese have something similar or better. The Russians have something similar or better, or America has something similar or better. Seems like fantasy, brothers and sisters, but it's real. And the French have spent money on this technology already, and possibly will be using it in the future. So this is where we're heading, brothers and sisters. The technology that they have is far beyond anything that Negroes with guns talking about. You're going to overthrow the government. You're never going to overthrow these people. They have weapons you haven't even thought about yet. Now I'm going to do more research to see if this technology is available to the general public, but I doubt it, because they'd have to come up with all types of laws that would regulate where you can fly these, how you can fly these, what places you can't fly these, etc. And I'm not aware of any laws on the books that would regulate somebody owning something like this in this country. If I'm wrong, put it in the comment section. But the military can own them. The military can own them. Ultimately, the police officers can own them. So this is real interesting. I found it to be really interesting, so I thought I want to share it with you, brothers and sisters, because I'm not sure how many of you are actually aware of this thing's existence. Yes, the French military have guys riding around. There are special forces riding around on things like this. And right now, it's just special forces. It may expand, it may not. It may be used in combat situations, it may not. But it's just going to show you that where they are with their technology, it's going to take a supreme being to deliver us from out of this condition. Oh, and before I go, let me just finish this video right here, because that's not all the technology that they have. That was just two. Look at this. Now, brothers and sisters, some may take this as a Hollywood production. You see the police circling the guy and his hands up in the air. But I'm the type of person, you can call me whatever you want to call me. I read between the lines.
All right, so here we have, in person, Frankie Zapata.
So that's the guy that invented it. That's Frankie Zapata. He invented it. He came to the U.S. more than a year ago. At least that's when this video was uploaded on YouTube. Y'all can see it has over 5 million views. And next thing you know, now the French military is actually using these. They're using them. Well, they brought it to Bastille Day and possibly will be using it. Just interesting. I found it to be interesting. Love to hear what you brothers and sisters have to say in the comments. Let's continue, though. Let's continue just a little bit more.
He is the man, the myth, the legend. He is the one that we did the flyboard video with, the hoverboard video with, and now the fly ride and the flyboard air.
Yeah.
Okay, so the real deal, based in France, but his products are all over the place. We did this as a passion project, so there's no money exchange. I just think what
So
Frankie
they
does
said
is
his products are all over the place. So it's a possibility that some of his products are available to the public. I'm not saying it's not, but I have some questions about whether what we just saw is available to the public. What we just saw the French military demonstrating is available to the public. I'll continue to do my research and y'all do yours, but I just thought it would be interesting.
absolutely incredible. So we were filming in Moab, Las Vegas, kind of all over the place, but definitely check out Frankie, his team, and what they're doing. This would not have happened without them coming to America and filming this out on location. So there you have it. Thank you so much, Frankie. And there you have it. Thanks so much for watching. Over and out.
Thank you.
Now, I let it go because I want you guys to see what else they have. What else they have. And how long before maybe the military or the police
I'm an
in the
ALPA
future
pilot because
use
flying
this.
is a part of my everyday
Let's get rid of this
life.
commercial.
Art
We
is
don't
such
care
a
nothing
connected
about that.
group.
Let's go. Watch this.
I'd be the first to admit that we went down this road really at the beginning for the pure joy of taking on a challenge that was largely thought to be impossible. There was no textbook
They
on how
also
to go and
have,
do
brothers
this.
and sisters,
I'm Richard
what's
Browning.
called jet
I am
suits.
founder and chief test pilot from Gravity.
Brothers and sisters, they have what's called jet suits. Again, is this art imitating life, life imitating art, or none of the above? And where, since I spoke about the Silver Surfer, where would you see something like this that they showed us also in Marvel Universe? Does anybody know?
And we build 1,000 horsepower jet engine flying suits.
For the last few
Interesting.
years, Browning and his team have tested every possible design and configuration they could come up with, all in an effort to make this a reality.
The origins of the concept
That looks
were
really
all
familiar.
around some of the inspiration from my early life. I used to fly model gliders and model aircraft with my father. He was an aeronautical engineer. His father was a pilot. So I guess it was in the blood.
But fulfilling his dream of flying required real physical demands, too.
So,
I spent some time in the Royal Marines Reserve, and the time in the military and all the
so
sports
he
I pursued.
sounds like he's from Britain. He spent time in the military. Interesting. And then he comes up with this
After
particular.
that taught me a lot about the
invention.
capability of the human mind and body. I'm no great athlete, but I did learn a lot about how if you focus the human form on a challenge, whether you want to be an ice skater or a gymnast or whatever, it is amazing how this machine can be adapted. I got to the point with this calisthenics bodyweight training where I could support my own weight in a number of different kind of unusual positions, like flags, for instance. And I thought, well, if you just replace that hard structure that I'm holding onto with actually a form of thrust, I can hold my body in any number of different kind of flight positions. So as ludicrous as that sounded, I thought, well, let's just go and experiment with it.
First, he needed to figure out how to stay suspended in the air.
The form of thrust I landed on was gas turbines. Gas turbines are notorious for being very small form factors, extremely
And
aggressive.
I want you brothers and
One
sisters
gas
to
turbine
understand
weighs-
something. This is just me talking now. It's my commentary. If this dude came up with this, there's something that's more advanced than this. That's all I'm going to say. They won't allow this to be put out there to the public unless they have something even better than this. The cell phones were decades before we ever got them. Y'all do know that, right? Okay.
5 pounds and puts out about 50 pounds of thrust.
So, in 2016, Browning started testing different components and variations.
And so having experimented with 1, we went to 2 and then went to 4, and it was getting increasingly compelling.
But things didn't always go quite so smoothly.
Through lots and lots of trial and error and constantly failing, to be honest, and learning all the time from those safe fails, we got to a point where we managed to achieve a flight, and that was 2 engines on each arm and an engine on each leg.
But there were basic problems at every stage.
Well, I'll let you brothers and sisters, if y'all are interested in this, y'all can go do your research, right? But I'm just showing you. And by the way, just so you know, like for instance, when the United States goes to war with different countries overseas, you brothers and sisters do realize one of the first things that they do is they go in and they get the scientists for that country. And they bring them back to the United States. And they basically force these scientists to show them what it is that they know, what it is that they know, and work for them. That happened even as recently as when we went into Iraq. That happened there as well. So do you think that people, whether they be private citizens or whatever they be, when they come with these inventions, you don't think the military goes and knocks on the door and says, hey, we see you're working on A, B, C, and D. We need that. I'm telling you that that's what goes on. You can believe me or not, but it's out there. It's out there, right? Yeah. So curious to know what your brothers and sisters think in the comments. I'm going to end it right there. It's your brother, Priest Daniel, Lines of Israel, Maccabees Alliance Council for Maccabees TV News. Also showing this on Maccabees TV. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button on the way out. Show your brother some love. And I'll be back with another news story, most high will, tomorrow. Came across something really interesting that I think you brothers and sisters will like, but it will again be posted on Maccabees TV News. So make sure y'all subscribe to that. It'll be in the comments and the description to this video. I say shalom.